What are you doing, Tobias?
Dispel magic.
Okay.
So yeah, read it for a sec, because it's a spell of 3rd level or lower on the target ends for each
Okay.
spell 4th level or higher, yeah.
Alright. Go ahead and make an ability check using your spellcasting modifier. So it's going to be
So,
one d20 plus your wisdom modifier. So 1d20 plus 4.
yeah. Okay. 17.
Okay. I need to check something real quick. Hang on.
I broke it, guys.
Okay. So, you guys watch as Tobias extends his hand out towards this funnel, this whatever this is, this light show. And you watch as kind of there's like a weird air shimmer that kind of out from his hand. And it kind of hangs in the air. Like my favorite visual description ever, like the air just above hot pavement. I use that all the time, but it's effective, so fuck you. Kind of just hangs in the air. And as this kind of weird visual effect comes in contact with this light vortex, the light fades. And it kind of cuts it off. It fades from the ceiling back into the bag. The bag just kind of sags down. And as you all kind of stand there in the sudden silence, the absence of a rushing sound, the body at the desk jerks back a little bit as the sword out from its head into the bag, flying right past you. The desk cracks in several places and into the bag. The room around you begins to fall apart, deteriorate, come apart in chunks, and these chunks into the bag. Flying past you, the wall behind you, the door crumbles and past you into the bag. I need you to all make dexterity saves for me, please.
Fuck, what did I do?
As the room and, in fact, house around you begins to fall apart and be sucked into this bag of holding.
Cool.
Oh no!
How do you beat the boss? You son of a
How do you avoid all of the combat encounters that I had planned? For those of you who do more Smash than think, you don't do them, you send them to the Shadow Realm. They were gonna be good, too. Alright.
Why? I need to just stop using Dispel Magic, because every time I do this, our like, opportunities for a good fight just go away.
Okay, Tobias is the only one who takes... Actually,
disappear.
Rexel. Okay. Tobias...
More damage?
Tobias is the
Cool.
only one that takes damage from this. You're all able to... Huh?
Is this considered a booby trap? A trap?
No?
No?
Yeah, actually, sure.
Because then Danger Sense would let me have, what's it called? Give advantage to saving
Okay.
throws.
Well, I mean, you succeeded anyway, so...
Check.
You had it
Oh,
at 12,
okay.
and Jordan's the only one who didn't, so...
Oh,
Oh, I'm in the pouch.
Oh, you are in the pouch. That's
I'm in the
right, then it doesn't matter.
pouch.
Then Sean dodges it
Oh,
for
okay.
you. Alright, I'll put my D4s away.
Okay. Yes.
So the house around you crumbles, and you all kind of dodge out of the way of this debris as it flies into the sack. You hear a squelching sound and the sound of wet flesh hitting the ground. You look over and you see the Shino. You see the blob that was on the bed rolling across the ground, being sucked towards this bag. and it hits it and kind of gets sucked in and it breaks apart and there's blood that kind of gets sprayed out and then back into the bag. The wall to your right, which is falling apart, you hear a slam, and then the large Solomon Grundy looking zombie chef kind of into the bag. Knives go flying in, sucked back in. The pieces of glass kind of into the bag. The mirror, end over end, straight in. You see a couple skeletons go flying past you. Pieces of body kind of like into the bag. There's a glass ball about the size of a softball that kind of like ping ping across the ground. It's clear save for like an artist's rendering of a black hole in the center of it, straight into the bag. The whole house around you eventually into the bag, which then closes, and a little leather tie kind of ties it up.
The whole house was magic.
Comes a skull kind of rolls up to the bag, the last thing that didn't get sucked in. You see a long, pale arm stick out of the bag, grab the skull, and pull back in. You're standing on apparently nothing. This bag of holding is sitting on the ground in front of you. Your torches flicker and flare up and reveal a dark forest around you. Trees that you could not possibly hope to... that even Rexel could not possibly hope to wrap his arms all the way around stand around you, disappearing off into a canopy high above. Trees impossibly tall, impossibly old.
I love trees.
You do love trees, and you know your trees. Something's wrong with these trees. You guys see off in the distance, kind of between the trees, as the forest around you seems to almost materialize out of the darkness, kind of away from you, almost like ripples in a pond, kind of away. You see a door off in the distance, 300 feet.
I don't like doors.
Guys, grab the bag. Let's run for the door.
Those of you with very high passive perceptions.
What is
passive?
On the main page, where it says perk, next to your...
What's high?
Read me your passive perceptions. I'm not going to go flipping through it.
15.
Mine says 4.
Okay.
Mine's
9. What was yours, Adam? 15? 15. And Nick, what's your passive perception? 13? Okay. Those of you who have a 15, from behind you, you hear footsteps.
Nope,
Big
I'm
footsteps.
running.
The sound of a large animal, a hoof
Everybody run.
landing, a second hoof
Rexel, grab the bag
landing.
and run!
Everybody
You
run.
hear the sound of claws
Everybody
digging
run.
into the earth.
I'm running.
Do any of you look back?
Yes.
Nope, I already know what it is.
Adam,
Oh,
okay,
get it.
Gondrus, you turn your head and you look, and you see, just at the edge of the torchlight, probably 60 feet tall, a creature with the back half of like a reindeer or an elk. The front half, like looks almost like a lizard except without the scales or lizard skin. Almost human-looking skin, arms that look human but end in long claws. Where its neck should be, there is instead, it kind of shrinks down and becomes a human torso that ends in a human head with human arms. It's got long black hair that hangs down. Coming out of where its shoulders would be are two enormous an enormous set of antlers, dripping with blood. Its human arms raise up towards you, and you hear a deep, booming voice come from that direction. Give it back! And it begins to charge towards you.
Run. I'm running.
Run.
So grab the bag and run like Tobias.
Well, can I even lift this bag that has a
You
house in
grab it, and it's like there's nothing inside.
it? Oh, I am taking this
Okay.
bag and we are running. We are
Oh
booking
well, yeah, let's go for that
So,
door.
you guys start sprinting towards this door, and this creature running behind you, it's a combination of like hooves beating against the ground, the sound of these enormous claws digging into the earth and occasionally grabbing onto a tree, which immediately, as soon as its claws hit, it cracks and the tree falls at its strength as it barrels down upon you. Its voice booms in your ears as you run. Give it back! It is mine! You reach the door as the ancient beast Modor bears down upon you. You rush through the door, and as the last one of you barely makes it through, you feel wind across your back as an enormous claw smashes this door out of existence. You turn at the last second to see who would be the last person through the door. I'm assuming that Tobias is in the pouch. Yeah? Okay,
Find
great.
the pouch.
Yeah.
Who's the slowest of you? Who's the slowest speed? It's gonna be either Belindo or Falros would be my guess. No, definitely not Falros. It's definitely Belindo. Yeah, but I think Belindo has the lowest dexterity. Belindo, at the very last second, you make it through this door, and you turn just in time to see the tip of one of these claws cut through your clothing as the door is smashed away. You all watch as this door you came out of in the forest just turn to shrapnel and shreds of wood as it's just into the forest. The door is gone. You hear a low, loud, rumbling bellow. The roar of some primal beast enraged from somewhere off in the forest.